One. Yes, Tim. Hello, Tim. Very good to see you again. And actually, in a wonderfully colourful setting. It's an amazing setting, Tim.
Thank you so much, Joe. Really, really nice to see you again. And because we've known each other many years, over the years, certainly at various events.
Yes. Yeah. Do you remember? Actually, you did a session, and I was part of it, down at Tintagel many years ago in the cave down there, Arthur's Cave.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a long time ago.
That's over 30 years ago, you know.
Remember it well because it was, I think, Paul Broadhurst and his Sacred Wells book or something, wasn't it? I think.
Yes, yes, and Colin Bloy and Fountain and all that. Yes.
No, well, hey, hello again. I didn't recognize you from there, obviously, but good to see you. Yeah, well, this is my little cave in the middle of London. It's my
Well, great. Well, great. From your little cave in the middle of London, which looks fantastic. The first question, Tim, is though, what is joy? What does joy mean to you, Tim?
so many things, Joe, and without wanting to bore your audience, we could be here for hours, if not
Yep,
days, cataloging what it is. I mean, it's obviously an inner emotion feeling, but inspired by so many different factors, from worldly events. I mean, for me, just to cut straight to the chase, I mean, listen, every day I wake up, I have joy to be alive, etc.
yes,
There's so many things. I mean, if one takes it personally, if you have children, then obviously there is this aspect of being a parent, which is truly bountiful. And regardless of any pain or heartache that might be there, the joy is overwhelming. And I will catalogue more kind of average things, which we all kind of obviously feel exhilaration on. But I'm devoted to music, and for
yep,
me, music naturally brings me enormous joy,
yep,
inspiration, and insight, let's say, into different emotions. And there are points, certainly, and I'm sure all of us can relate to this because music, appeals to us all, for whatever
yep,
style we enjoy.
yep,
Just points that are just fantastic. I mean, I
yep,
could name pieces, but likewise, when you see someone, you really admire as a performer. I mean, hey, I saw Paul McCartney
yep,
last December, I think it was, whatever it was, and what a joy just to witness a legend like that. But
yep,
so many things, Joe. I think a lot of it is reliant upon, obviously, our state of mind, and how we view the world. Uh,
yep,
I mean, I'm a great believer in that our mind does create our reality. So,
yes,
the way that we interpret what we see and experience and have to live,
yes,
obviously, we all differ. We've all got different, unique responses, which is what makes us as a human race so fascinating. Um,
yes,
but by the same token, and it's almost a cliche, and I'm sure you've all heard this before. We are very much by all humanity. We share the same hopes, dreams, fears. We have the same family, emotions around family and bloodline. Our country brings us joy. I mean, I have to tell you, even just rustically, to live in England and see our green
yep,
splendor,
yep,
great joy. So hey,
yep,
I'm
yes.
rambling now, but you can
No,
hear
no, no. It's great.
it.
And one of the
Yeah.
things I heard you say and what you said was that your each day starts with joy, the joy of waking up, the joy of still being alive.
Yes,
Um,
very much
um,
so, and I recognize that, and I'm so grateful that I can have that emotion. And again, to flip that, I'm very aware that if one has concern, worry, there's stress in one's life, that can be slightly blunted. So
yes,
total sympathy and empathy for that. But yes, I do wake up with a certain joy. Um,
amazing.
and at my age, I am grateful to be alive because, at my age, there's a lot of people that you've sort of said goodbye to, that
Well,
have
yes,
passed
yes, yep.
on. Um,
Um,
what I think, though, is a maxim I hold is that, if you love the world loves you. Meaning
yep,
whole life itself. If you love life, life will love you. So it is
yes,
maybe our challenge to be able to sort of will always come into that insight and that inspiration where we fundamentally have gratitude, for this
Yeah.
extraordinary experience that we all share as life.
Well, yes. See, that feeds very nicely into the second question, which is no, how important. I mean, in a way, you've answered this already, but it's no, how important is joy to you?
It's the honey of life, isn't it? It's what we
Yes,
all would wish and desire to taste, that succulent fantasy of bliss, or whatever,
yes.
even reality of bliss. That's even
Well,
correct.
yes, yeah, well, yes, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's an extraordinary thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
ask me something else now.
Well, yeah, no, no, it's great. It's lovely. See, I love, and I am sort of loving listening to you talking about the fact that your day starts with joy, and the joy of being alive, and all the other factors that can help us or access
Well,
this state.
this is it, and obviously, we're on a personal conversation, and I'm expressing this is personal to me. So yeah, I wake up.
Yes, exactly.
And if I'm at home at night, because where I live, I'm in London, but I live on the back, so it's quiet. I don't
Yeah,
get traffic, and it's not the normal London you think it is.
yeah, very nice.
So at night, when I've turned everything off, the lights are out, just for a moment, I can just hear the rustle of trees outside my window. Particularly if there's a bit of wind, I get it's almost inaudible thing of like distant London hum, which I quite like because it kind of
Yes, yes,
plugged into the voltage. But let me come to the point. At that point, again, I truly give thanks, and I do observe that I think, gosh, I feel happy, and how lucky, what a lucky feeling that is. Because, hey, it's not constant for us all. Let me also share that. Let me not
exactly.
talk about this.
Life,
We've exactly
up and
spoken.
down, up and down. Yeah.
Maybe the downs teach us to appreciate the ups, and
Yes,
have a
yes,
bit of recognition. And there are so many things that maybe we also can experience that are joyful that we can, by chance or circumstance, bypass and miss. And oh, I missed that one moment. So we've got to search for it and cherish it.
yes,
We can find it.
yes. And so, what would be the third question is what would be your top tip for experiencing sort of more joy in life? What do you find? What's your yes, Tim? What's your top tip for you?
I mean, key words. I mean, obviously gratitude. I really feel
Yep,
that, and positivity.
yep,
Uh, because I appreciate, again, with people's stresses or whatever concerns they have, they can be overwhelming. I think maybe we have to try and be warriors and bypass any form of victim mode, perhaps.
yep, yep.
Um, it is so much about us recognizing the extraordinary nature of what life is. And in a way,
Yes,
come into that mindset, you can slightly swerve all the more mundane things that actually can bring us down in modern life. Because
yes,
in modern life we deal with a lot of things. Um, I mean, I've lived in wildernesses where you are completely detached from all this stuff. Even places where there's, for example, no advertising, and it just sort of cleans the mind. It's quite interesting in a way. I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this on your wanderings.
yes, 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 yes. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's great, and absolutely. Um, uh, um, because no, that other word, that other sort of lovely thing you used, no, was gratitude. The sense of thank you. No, thank you for the journey. It's not just thank you for the ups, but it's thank you for the no for the downs, because no, without the downs you don't have the ups, and all these sort of semi cliches. But actually, it's just part of life, isn't it? It's
Uh,
life.
And the
Um,
lesson is, if we're still here, then we are still part of that fabric of life. And naturally, it is a great a gift, for us all.
yes,
Because beyond, as I said again, our mundane observations and societal pressures and changes and shifts, of which we're in the middle of this extraordinary
yeah,
thing at the moment. More fundamentally, it is just the joy that we hold, and indeed coming to it, even the collective, which you hold for our close friends that we feel a love
yeah,
for, obviously I
Yeah.
said, if you have children or family, that's a beautiful
Yeah.
time to have, and it does bring joy. I mean, if someone gets married that whatever, all of these things. I think it's about us. Ultimately, maybe, again, it's a cliche, coming to the appreciation that if we can allow and try to let in life as being the glass half full, then
Yes.
again swerve and bypass it being half empty.
Well, I have to say that one of the things that really helped top up my half full glass, which was quite full anyway. Well, one thing that topped it up was listening to your latest music,
Oh,
which I found really it has such a beautiful, it has a kind of an ethereal quality. There's a zenness, there's a sense of sort of being at peace with the passage of life quality about it. So
I
uh,
think
I,
that
I'm
I'll tell. I mean, if we're talking here, it's actually not that private. But privately, what I created there, I'm not going to say how old I am, because hey, I feel 23, but
well,
that's
yes.
a story. But um, and I don't normally this sort of stuff. Anyway, just in normal worldly terms, I was at the doctor, did a blood test. She said to me, "You've got very high X, Y, Z, and you've got to take
Yep.
this." And I said, "I really don't want to. I want to just stay kind of relatively clean." She
Yep.
said, "A 50% chance of dying at any point." Um, she said, "But I respect your decision." That's all
Yep.
fine. But that little sobering aspect of that statistic, I mean, fortunately, he didn't like bring up any great fear in me. There was an acceptance because, hey, this is the story we all have to share
Yep.
eventually.
Yep.
But more importantly, what it gave me was a feeling that, gosh, well, I'm here. Let's make the most of this.
Yes.
Music that you're talking about, it's a new album which is not released yet, so
No. Exactly. Yep.
is pretty fundamentally a journey from an expectation of departure from this life, but taking in all the aspects and beauties that you've memorized and shared and been part of your journey. And then it comes to the very end. This is all a bit of a teaser for people who haven't heard it. Comes to the end, and I go to the very, very last bit. It's this sort of very airy thing with these distant voices. And that came about. I was lucky enough to survive breaking my back about 20 years ago. But for a few minutes, I had, to me, what was a near-death experience. And I felt myself ascending, but beyond anything else too exciting, I seemed to join, immerse myself into this river of sea, a river sea of light and sound flowing like a volcanic, but really colorful, with these amazing sounds going on. And I remember, I obviously came back.
Fantastic.
I memorized it, and it was this sort of very floaty, etheric. I mean, that's obviously
Yes.
natural,
Yes.
hopefully.
Ye-
Anyway, so to come to that, so the music is actually an acceptance. And the title is called Kiss of Bliss because I felt it was right in the middle of Kiss of Life,
Yep.
Revival, or Kiss of Death when you're gone,
Yep.
Kiss of Bliss. And that's the key word that ties in with your joy, I believe, to a degree.
Yes. Well, I know in a slightly different way could almost have been Kiss of Joy. I mean, it's that kind of vibe, isn't it?
I hadn't thought of that. Right.
Mm.
The next album title. Thanks, Joe. I've got you.
Well, Tim, it's been amazing, amazing having this conversation with you. Thank you very much for taking the time.
My
Um,
pleasure.
and I look forward to our paths crossing again soon.
I do hope so. And
Yep.
it's great. And thank you so much. It's been lovely to see you again. I love the work you're doing. It's very
Thank
important
you.
work to bring that love into people. We're all
Yep.
on that mission.
Yep.
And may everybody else, come and join us
Yes.
on this journey of enlightenment and awareness and the joy
Enjoy.
of love and the love of
Yes.
joy. Bless you all. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
Bye.
Tim, thank you. That's fantastic.